Yeah, really sorry about that. I'm back. For some reason, the computer froze. That doesn't really happen. I'm concerned, but I guess like even the computer couldn't handle the cringe. It was too many truth bombs, too much information. So there we go. But still, I'm back. So guess someone is trying to stop the message. Someone is preventing me from speaking out, from talking truth to power. Abdi Muhammad did try to warn me about it, but unfortunately, I didn't listen. So we're back now. I don't even know if I'm going to get back all the viewers that I have. That's another story, but it's one of the advantage in having only 100 people watching, because then it's fewer viewers to get back. Anyway, right. Cooming related issues, dude. I would pay money to a person which can have this on their monitor and still coom at the same time. I would be, wow, like, really? But anyway, as I was mentioning before, the reason another reason that these celebrities go there is to raise awareness, and the way they raise awareness is by wearing something that is provocative, but not like provocative as in offensive, right? Like they're not going to wear a MAGA hat. If they were a MAGA hat, then yeah, they would be on every single magazine page, but it would be the unwanted publicity. No, what they need to do is to say something that's progressive. And when they say something that's progressive, they make it on the page of the New York Times, they make it on the page of The Guardian, BBC. And as I was mentioning, this is why they pay the $35,000 admission. It's not just for the tax return, but it's also literally money to promote their brand. And these people are millionaires, right? So for them, they view it as an investment. It's like they throw $35,000 and then they get an investment in their brand. So, for example, this lady, right, appears on all of them, but someone else can jump on the cloud and also appear in the paper. So, for example, the person, what was his name? Luna Matatas, right? So Luna Matatas, she couldn't afford, I think, the 35,000, or if she did afford it, she didn't really signal any attention. Like she didn't manage to raise her brand. So what she can do is like she can piggyback on this and accuse this person of doing appropriation. So because Cara Delevingne's message, which got her famous, now you have another person by the name of Luna Matatas, which can point out, it's like, hey, I want to be famous too, because this is my message, and she appropriated my work, so can you please have an article with me in it? And there she is. So it's all about performance. It's like once you kind of understand this, like you figure out the real reason on why these things happen, it makes a lot more sense, and you realize just how fake these people are. All celebrities are predators until proven not. Yeah, so this is a very interesting thing, which I noticed that when the Catholic Church was exposed for harboring sex pests and worse, all of a sudden everyone is pointing it out, and it's a good thing. You know, like South Park even makes an episode mocking it. But when allegation after allegation after allegation comes from Hollywood, talking about it is a conspiracy theory, and it's literal danger. Like you shouldn't talk about it, even though you have many people coming out and saying that they had very unpleasant experiences during Hollywood. So yeah, it's something that I find very interesting. Even today, the Catholic Church is under scrutiny because of the scandals there, but for some reason people never mention Hollywood. And if you mention Hollywood, you're a conspiracy theorist, literally a danger to the United States of America. So it's fascinating, isn't it? But anyway, right? So Peg the Patriarchy was classic appropriation, says the sex educator and artist who trademarked the phrase. I want to say something interesting though. Why do we have sex education instead of dating education? Did you notice that? It's like so many young lads when I was growing up couldn't even get a date. So like telling them how to have sex would have been a little bit redundant. Like they can't even get a date, dude. The fuck are you doing? Now, The reason, and I told this to um, academic agent, or how I like to call him, authoritarian ANCAP. Uh, I don't think it's the anime that is the problem. The real problem has to be with social media and dating websites. When social media became popular, one of the good things that people enjoyed is that social media was used as a supplement for real life. So, for example, you would go and organize a party, and then you'd say on high five, anyone that's around my real area, you're welcome to come to my party. You're invited to join my party, and that was the initial stages on social media. Like you'd have real life events, and you'd only use social media in order to signal boost those events. Now social media is almost completely replacing real life. I mean, authoritarian agent says that Twitter is real life. Okay, so there's a lot of people like him. The only reason you would say that Twitter is real life is because your real life is on Twitter. So I'm not saying that there aren't people who don't actually live on Twitter, but there's also people who don't. So anyway, right, it is a problem, right? Like social media addiction is definitely a big issue. But what I'm trying to say is that with social media and dating apps, you now have men, especially young men, competing with older men. So it's very difficult for a man to be able to seduce a woman when the competition also has a house, a car, a job, a career. Maybe they're also charismatic, so they get all of that. So, what chance do you have as a single man in high school to be able to seduce women? Now, of course, this will change when you grow up, but until you grow up, you don't really have the possibility, like the same resources like other older men. And because of that, there's a lot of sexual pent up energy that men are having it, and they're releasing it online with various bizarre fetishes, like academic agent was pointing out. And that's why I think there's a problem. And I think it's also affecting women because before, when you had to actually go out in order to make a relationship, and you had like a very small circle of friends, like you didn't have access to a dating app with 200 or 300 people connected in your local area. You actually had to go out and find a person from your close circle of friends. So when the relationship wasn't working, you had to really try in order to fix it, because you would think it's like, oh, I don't want to be single again because it will take me so much time to find someone else, and maybe I won't even find someone else. But now, the moment the relationship doesn't work, people are just breaking up. People are just like, oh, who cares? I'll go back to Tinder. I'll just swipe left, cast a wide net, and eventually I find someone else. And on top of that, I gotta say, like having sex with multiple people, kind of, maybe I will sound a little bit boomerish, but kind of takes the magic out of it. It kind of makes sex just feel like a pleasant massage rather than the first time you have it and it feels like a connection with two people. It becomes mundane, it becomes boring, and that's what dating apps do. Like before this, it would have been very difficult to just have casual sex with random people. But the world of dating apps. And by the way, again, it also hurts women because those men that have their life in order, like they have a car, they have a house, they have a career, they get access to a lot of women on these dating apps, and they don't want to have a relationship because of that, because they're tempted to cheat. They can just have sex with multiple women, so why would they just pick one and stick with it, right? So the women, they're also upset because they want a relationship, like they want to go with someone, but while women are the people gating sex, they're the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of relationships. So yeah, sure. I mean, they can find a very good looking guy that they like, and they can have intercourse with him, but that doesn't mean that that guy is going to call them the other night. Or if they do call them the next night, that doesn't mean that they actually want a relationship with that woman. So yeah, I think that dating apps are quite problematic, and I've seen dating apps trying to manipulate people. For example, OkCupid was really bothered because there aren't that many interracial relationships. Now, this isn't something that OkCupid should be bothered with, in my opinion. Like, this is something that people should decide for themselves whether they want to have an interracial relationship or not. But OkCupid started doing social experiments by lying to people about their compatibility. So the way the website OkCupid works is that they will look at your hobbies, they will look at your education, they would look at your background, and they also ask like what your desires are, like what you're looking for into the opposite person. And based on that, they give you a compatibility score. And they realized that people don't really prefer to have interracial dating, so they started lying on the compatibility score. So, for example, if you're like 30% compatible with another woman of a different race than you, then OkCupid would lie and they would say you're 90% compatible in order to convince people to start relations. And what they noticed is that they have huge success with this simply by lying to people. But the problem is like that you don't know if those relationships are going to be fulfilling. You don't know if those relationships would actually work. Like they didn't follow up to see if people break up shortly after or not. But it's just like so bizarre because why is a dating company interested in this level of social engineering? It's just like beyond bizarre. Um, but let me see if I can find the article now that I brought it up. So let me see. I think this is one. But I wanna point out that the reason OkCupid did this